Everybody, how are you doing? I hope you are all doing well. I love you guys. And I had an amazing week. It's been a long week, but I had something major happen to me today when I came home. And I'll wait till more of you get here to discuss it. But I hope everybody enjoyed the last video. I've had some major things happen to me this week that are completely unexplainable. Hello, bud. How are you? So, before I get into some things that I want to talk about, as I said, hi guys. Hi, Susan. How are you, hon? I had some major things happen to me this week, and one of them was today, and it was so profound that it even frightened me a little bit. It was that profound. So I'll tell you the event that took place today. Well, I'll tell you an event that took place a couple days ago. Now this is, well, actually within the last 3 weeks, three major things have happened to me spiritually wise, and today was beyond just, it just blew my mind, and I'm still reeling from it. Um, so about a week and a half ago, I was meditating right here on the couch, right in the dark, like I always do, other than my infrared light on for my snake, which is a heat lamp. I was sitting there meditating, going through my mantra, just sitting in the dark. And when, I don't know, about half an hour or so, maybe 40 minutes, as I came out of my meditation, adjusted my eyes, and all of a sudden I see this light on. And I'm like, where's this light coming from? It's like I was sitting in the dark. And I lean over, and I have a crystal that was laser designed with me and my twin flame. And the base lights up. So when it lights up the crystal, and you can see the image inside, right? That was turned on. Now, the only way to turn that on is from the remote that is sitting across the living room by where it's at. And I just stood, and I was sitting there, and I'm looking at that, and I'm like, okay, wow, you guys are here. All right, you're listening. All right, great. So 2 days ago, I come home from work, all right, same time. So I get home about 4:40 in the afternoon. I come home from work. First thing I do when I walk in the door, that light is turned on again. I'm like, okay. And it stops me dead in my tracks. Like, it wasn't on when I left. I know it for a fact. I only turn it on sometimes Friday nights or Saturdays when I'm sitting at my computer so I can see my twin flame. Now today, I got freaked out. When I got up this morning, it was a little after 5, took a shower. In the pitch dark, I make my bed. It's perfect. I make it. First thing I do before I go to the bathroom, whatever, I make my bed. All right. Went in, took a shower, came here, laid down, meditated for an hour or so, got up, started my day, left at about 7:50 this morning for work. All the lights were shut off except for my snake light. Beds are made. I have 2 beds. Beautiful day. I was in a great mood all day. I left feeling really good, being grateful. Good morning to the sun, good morning to the trees, all of this good stuff. Went to work, had a great day at work. Came home. Now listen very carefully. When I came in, that light was on that you see over here, which wasn't when I came home. This couch, the blankets were disheveled, pillows strewn across the couch. My computer chair was pulled back and turned sideways facing the door, to the patio. I'm stopped dead in my tracks. Kitchen lights are on. And I'm like, weird feeling went through me. And I'm like, what? So I come in and I'm looking around to see if anything was touched or stolen. Now I'm thinking to myself, okay, I used the key and I unlocked the deadbolt and the other door. So not my computer, nothing's out of place except for the messy couch and the pillows strewn all over the place. I walk into my bedroom, and the whole half of the bed was pulled down. Pillows shoveled, disheveled, and displaced everywhere. Now I have $10,000 worth of bass guitars sitting in there, standing there right in the same place as they always are. The bed is disheveled, pulled back and down, the covers. I walk into the second bedroom, same thing, except this time the mattress, the stuff that holds on to the mattress itself, that was completely ripped up and pushed in the middle, pillows strewn all over the place. Nothing is taken. Nothing is gone. Nothing out of the fridge. My money that was sitting on my bedroom dresser was still there. Nothing taken. The iPad that I'm on was sitting right here on the couch, not touched. Nothing. And I'm feeling really weird inside. And I'm like, okay, this is a major message, guys, is what I'm trying to say. This was the non-physical saying something. I don't know what it is. I talked to somebody who was also a kind of a psychic, and he says, I'm not feeling anything bad. He says, but they're definitely trying to communicate with you. Something big is going on. I mean, they messed up quite a bit of my house today, left the lights on and everything. I've been looking up on people call it the immortal jellyfish. It really amazed me how able to reverse its age. Didn't know about that. So that event took place today, and I'm still reeling from it. I feel off. So I wasn't expecting it. I left the house. Everything was neat and tidy, lights off, just the way I do it every day. Come home, lights are on, beds are a mess, ripped up, not in a bad way. I mean, they just pulled it apart. And I know this sounds gross, but I'm getting in there and I'm smelling to see if somebody had broken in. Everything was me. So something's going on. But anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. Just had to touch on that a little bit. They're communicating with me, telling me something that I'm missing something. But anyway, hope you guys liked the video that came out on, I was going to go live, but the video came out last week. I thought it was a really good video. I hope you guys liked it. Came across some new info today or this week when I was just meditating and asking questions. And I think part of what was taking place today was them letting me know, but what it was, I still don't know. And that is who we are as a species, where we are standing compared to the rest of the universe right now. And right now, we're low men on the totem pole, this species. There's maybe not even a handful, maybe 3 or 4 civilizations that are below us. So right now, we're on the 10-yard line, and it's 4th, and a long way to go. We are an extremely primitive species. And to all of those who have listened to my videos, I have also changed a major part of my life because of this. And I've gotten a lot of flack for this, but starting as of this week, I am no longer a carnivore. I will no longer eat the flesh of a dead animal ever again. I will never touch it again. Yeah, it was a major change within me. It even got me very upset when I made that change. I have been eating meat since I was 5 years old. And when I found out that how primitive we were and how Father described how primitive we are compared to higher evolved beings. And that's the first thing they ask us, do you eat something that was once alive? Because it's pretty gross. And when it was explained to me in that way, I felt very subhuman, very gross, and very icky. And it was a hard thing for me to have to change in my life. But then again, after my own near-death experience, I changed quite a bit. So as of this moment, I will never buy meat again. And that means, steaks. That means chicken. That means fish. And I've begun to love sushi. So I thought that was okay, but it's still the flesh of a dead animal. So basically I will be reduced to eating eggs, salads, nuts, fruits. And I've come to the conclusion that that will be just fine. So that's a major change that happened this week too. We need to step up our game, guys. We need to step up our game. It's, it's fourth down and 80 yards to go. And we need a Hail Mary. We are behind, seriously behind on where we should be. We need to come together as one. When Jesus came here, his true mission, and let's talk about Jesus for a minute, because that is more information came here. So when I talked to you about who the real Jesus was in my video that I did a while ago, I could have gone deeper. And with the last video I did, I would really went into some depth. But the real Jesus, when Father called on him, he wasn't in this dimension or come from this dimension, but neither do we. We all come from a different dimension, all right? But where Jesus came from, he was what you call, he was living a life somewhere else. He was a higher evolved being. And to make it clear to you, because I don't like using this word, an alien. He was not of this physical realm. He was a higher evolved being. It's been very hard on me I'm still have some meat in the freezer that I'm going to finish up. But what I mean by this is I will never buy meat again. I will never buy fish. I'll never buy chicken. I'll never buy steaks or have ribeyes, or it's done. It's done. I will finish up. Hi, Sonia. Hi, Spain. All right. Pleasure. Oh, you stayed up for me. I'm so honored. I am. Welcome. I love you. So I made that decision, and it was hard. I was grumpy for a couple days about that. But getting back to Jesus is when Father called on him, he came from a highly evolved civilization. He was a highly involved being, all right, that didn't eat meat, that his whole life was centered around love, and that anybody in our position, meaning as primitive as we are, wouldn't be allowed to suffer. There was no suffering. They have risen so far above. Okay. Have you ever seen the documentary called The Devil on Trial? I have not. 2 a.m. Wow, I'm impressed. It is 7:14 p.m. here, so I'm honored. Thank you. But when Father called on him, he was in another realm. He came from a highly evolved civilization species, okay? So when he came here to do this job, he was coming from that mindset already. And his main mission was to help us realize, I wrote it down here, so hold on, guys. His mission was to save you from not knowing and ever experiencing who you really are. And his intention was to demonstrate that by showing you what you can become if indeed you choose to do that. So he came from a completely different civilization to show you what a highly involved being can be and do. He simply dismembered his body, traveled here, was born into a man and a human from a highly evolved civilization and being, which was a major downstep from him, to show us who we can become. Can you imagine how difficult that would be? Some of you are having a hard time even understanding our own capabilities, let alone the type of travel and civilizations that they have that are out there. We're way down on the bottom, guys. And I'm disgusted by that. When I found out that, and that's part of where the whole meat eating thing came. That is a big turnoff. When they produce, because they eat very little, all right? And when they do, it's like turnips, radishes, and stuff like that. But even before they take that radish from the ground, they ask that being in that food source if they would surrender themselves and allow themselves to be picked and eaten. That is their mentality. Okay? Where you guys will just pick an apple off the tree and start eating it. They will say, would you please allow me? They ask permission before they even eat a radish or a turnip or a carrot or whatever it is that they eat. All right? So, and they absolutely refuse, will not ever endanger an animal in any way, shape, or form. And I was sickened. I was sickened. And that is where the whole I stopped eating meat came from now, is I refuse to do it. I will never do it again, ever. And that is a major change in my life. I've changed a gazillion %. I have risen so high, and now that this has changed in me, it's almost downright scary to drop something that I've been doing for 50 years. But then again, I did that when I had my near-death experience. I completely changed. I refuse to live in hate or anger or violence. I choose love in every aspect of my life. And now I am choosing love on a different level by not eating, something that was alive. I refuse. So those are some of the major changes with me so far, since the last time I was on here. And they've been major changes. I've been having major spiritual experiences, just like the one I talked about tonight. So, and I'm still shaken up by that. I'm trying to understand the message that came through that, but maybe it is because I've been changing and I've risen higher. They're trying to communicate, but I have never had a physical disturbance like that, where my physical property was being, messed around with by the non-physical. I was blown away by that. But yeah, I'm still thrown off. I'm sorry, guys. I'm rambling on. Why don't you guys ask me some questions, because my mind is in 1,000 different places right now. I think with AI and balanced technology, we could achieve immortality in the future. We are immortal. You guys have to understand that we never die. We simply transition into a different form of energy. Remember, the body isn't real. There is no death. You will never die. You have never died. You have been around, okay, for billions and billions and billions of years. There is no such thing as death. And I'll point out another fact. Okay, when you look up into the night sky, when you're staring up at the stars, what are you staring at? When you can see Mercury, Venus, Mars, you can eat. Wow. All right. What do you see when you look up at there? What do you see? I'm sorry, guys. Something's going on here tonight. So when you see the Andromeda Galaxy, and all of that. What are you seeing? Anybody have a guess? We are seeing us. Almost. That's pretty close. That's pretty close. I'm impressed, I'll have to say. So, no. So when you look out into the night sky, right, and you're looking at what you think you are seeing, you are looking at the past. But that past doesn't exist anymore. What you're looking at really isn't there anymore. So when you're all looking at me right now, all right, what do you see? What is it? This will blow your mind. It blew my mind. Because what you're looking at in the night sky doesn't exist. Nightshades are really bad for us, and include foods like such as potatoes, tomatoes. I don't know. Those are all good vegetables. I don't know why they would be bad. But when you're looking at me right now talking, all right, you're seeing the future. When you look at yourself and you look at your hands right now, you are literally looking at your future self. What you're seeing out there is your past lives, your past yous, right? You in higher civilizations, higher beings. That's the past. But when you're looking at your hands right now, as I'm looking at my hands, right? You're seeing the future. You're seeing your future self. But in that moment, while you're looking at your hands and you're looking at me talking to you, you're in the moment of remembering. That is mind-blowing in and of itself. So you're right now, when you're looking at your future self, what's out there doesn't exist anymore. Right now is your future self, and all you are in this moment right now is remembering yourself. And remember, like I said in the last video, that God is experiencing what you are experiencing. Thus, you are creating God in this moment. You are always in the process of recreating who God is through you, through every moment of your existence here. Now, same thing goes for those higher beings and those higher civilizations. There's no judgment placed on us for this. We are evolving. We are moving away from this primitive, but we need to hurry up. We need to get on the horn. We need, we're in the Hail Mary phase right now. We got to get, 100 yards, right? We're on the 10-yard line. So we got 80 yards to go, 90 yards to go. So we got a long way to go, and we need to get there. And the only way to get there is through love. So I thought those were some things that I would like to share with you tonight. And I'm sorry I'm off, guys. I know I am. I feel it. I'm just, I don't want to say shaken, but I wrote some things down for you guys. So how about that? Let me talk to you about some things here. I wrote some things down when I was so you've all heard of the Holy Trinity, right? Well, you think it's from the Catholic religion, but it's not. I mean, the Holy Trinity, and they can go in any one of these three phases, or order, I should say, is the spirit, mind, and body. That's the Holy Trinity. All right. So to remember, experience produces the concept of self. All right. The conception produces the creation. Thus, the creation produces the experience. Always remember that. It doesn't matter which way it goes. Spirit, mind, body, body, mind, spirit. It doesn't matter. It's the Holy Trinity. It's the triangle of us. All right. Mind, body, and then your soul, which isn't inside you. It encompasses you like a bubble. These foods were never meant to be eaten, and they stay in our bodies for 7 years. Plus, they weaken our aura. The same with coffee. I don't drink coffee. I never heard of that. That's interesting. I'll have to look that up. So just remember this: experience creates experience. What else have I got for you? So why were we created? For Father to create experience of who I am through us, right? So we're constantly creating Father. So our purpose as a soul is to experience yourself as all of it, everything. As I said, your thoughts create your reality, right? So there it is. Just jotting stuff down for you guys. So divine dichotomy holds that it is possible for two apparently contradictory truths to exist simultaneously in the same place. Okay? The tools of creation: thought, word, action. Do you think something? You speak it out loud. Say you want to start your own business. So in your mind, you say, I am a business owner. Then you speak it out loud. And then you've got to do something about it. Start your business. Start the process. That brings your physical manifestations into the physical realm. And then the greatest vision of you is God, me, all of us. That's who God is through you. Again, you are creating the grandest version of God. You are constantly recreating God. So, what have you guys got for me? Because like I said, I'm off today, guys. That really threw me off. So yeah, next time you're looking at the night sky, go out there and look and realize that there's nothing there. It's simply the past. And right now, you are looking at your future self in the now moment, creating now through the Holy Trinity, mind, body, spirit. Your thought creates your reality. Thought, verbalize it, you create it. Whatever that is you want to create. If you're in a bad mood and you're angry, you're going to bring in more anger, and you're going to create more disdain for yourself. So just be mindful. Hey, there she is. How are you? I'm having an off day, hon. I had a bizarre incident today, and it threw me for a loop. I had everything planned that I was going to talk to in my head all day, and when I walked in the door, that all went out the window. And I'm kind of struggling with you guys tonight, and I'm sorry. So, but I'm glad you're here, hon. And as you asked me, I would be honored. So whenever you're ready, whenever you get that rolling, you let me know. And I would definitely love to be there. So how are you? If you got any questions for me, let me know. Like I said, I've been thrown off today when I came home. So, and I deeply apologize for that. But I need you guys to help me out tonight more than ever. Normally it's me rambling on and being in depth, and my mind is so scattered right now. It's like yeah, it's crazy. So, but as I told everybody, I'm no longer a meat eater. I made that decision early on this week that I will never eat the flesh of a dead animal again. So that was a major change that took place. I had a very big spiritual experience happen several times this week, and today was a big one. We are good. little email after some questions on that. I still have some nerves. Okay, I'll ask on here. Where do I research like I would struggle with planning? All right, let me see here. We are good. I'll email later with questions on that. Okay, still have some nerves. Well, you're letting fear run you. Don't let fear. Fear is irrational, so just go ahead and do it. Okay, I'll ask on here. Where do I research like I would struggle with planning? Well, basically, just go on here onto YouTube and say how to start my YouTube channel, and it goes step by step, and that's exactly what I did. And then you have to go to AdSense, which is how you get paid through YouTube, and then you just set that up. You get your bank account information, they verify it, and then when you start producing your your show and your videos, the more people watch. It's not how many people subscribe to your channel, it's your watch hours. So that's how you get your paid. But it's pretty simple to do. Just set yourself up as the administrator, and it's relatively easy. So just type into YouTube how to start your own YouTube channel and just follow those instructions, and you'll be up and running within half an hour. Get YouTube AdSense going, get YouTube Studio going, and you're off and running. So don't be nervous about it. Simply don't let the mind start to scare you. When you have an idea, you go with it. That your thought, action, go. Right? That's how things come into reality. If you sit there and ponder it, you're going to let the ego ruin it for you in your mind. Just get and do it. I'm tired of so many truths, half truths, and outright lies. I have no more energy to even attempt to figure out what is factual or total bunk. It all seems pointless amidst the everyday grind. Sonia and I, God just woke me up to watch your channel. That's all I know. Hi, Sonia. Hi, honey. What sparked the decision to not eat meat? Well, I know. I'm going to Ide. Well, Ide, I don't know how to pronounce your name, and if I said it wrong, I am deeply sorry. Follow your heart. When something calls out to you and you enter their channel, you'll know because it'll feel right. It's like putting on a pair of perfect jeans or putting on a pair of perfect shoes. When you're watching and you're listening to some information, follow your gut intuition. You will know instantly whether it is truthful or factual. Don't let your mind get in the way. Listen to your heart. Listen to your emotions. All right? That will tell you all you need to know and follow it. All right? You will know the truth because you will feel it inside you. It's like a calling, a yearning. You'll say, that's it. All right? And that's all you need to know. Follow your intuition. If you're here listening to me, it's for a reason. And if it's something that's not sitting well with me, then you move on to somebody that is. It's that simple. I've done the same thing, and that's why I started my own channel, because a lot of people just weren't telling the truth. I have been the no bullshit channel from day one. I have been telling you the truth. I have been talking to you guys about the things that need to be talked about that have been swept under the rug for millennia. I will hide nothing from any of you. I tell you what you need to know, what it's there. I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make you drink. All right. I can give you all the information. And if it doesn't resonate with you, find somebody that does. And that's the best way to figure that out. Okay. So don't beat yourself up over it. If you're here listening and it resonates with you, go into my channel, watch all the videos, and just let your soul connect to them. And you'll feel it. And if it's with me, that's great. If it's with somebody else, that's great too. All right. What sparked, let's see. I'm glad you're here, Sonia. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So what sparked the decision to not eat meat? Well, I was given more information about how primitive we were through higher advanced civilizations and higher advanced beings. The first thing that they ask of us when they when they meet one of us is, do you eat something? What do you eat? Something that was once alive? And they say you're extremely primitive. And God acknowledged that we are extremely primitive. I mean, there's maybe 4 or 5 civilizations in the whole entire galaxy that are below us. So that means we're in the basement. Okay. And it made me feel disgusting that I had done this my whole life. And again, I didn't know, right? I'm still getting information and downloads and being directed. And when I found out that Father doesn't really care for it, I became angry with myself. I became disgusted with myself. And it was a very hard thing for me to let go. I do have some meat left in the freezer. I will finish that up. But when I mean I will never eat that again, it means I will never go into the grocery store or to the butcher and get fish, chicken, or meat, steak, or whatever. It's done. Now I'm eating fruits, vegetables, salads, stuff like that. I'm done with eating the flesh of dead animals. So, told Simba the great kings of the past look down on us. So here's another thing. When, say, a highly advanced being steps astray for a little bit, steps out of line, right? You know what they do? They show him Earth. Watch these guys. He sees the errors of his ways, they do, and they fall back into their higher self. We're looked down on as the example of what not to be. Look at here, you want to see? Look at Earth. Look at that trash. Now they love us, don't get us wrong, but we're the piss poor example that the whole universe looks at because we're nothing but, excuse my language, a bunch of fuck ups. Completely. And it just sickened me. It sickened me to the core. So it was a major life change that I will never do again. So, Moas is the great kings of the past look down us from the, yep. It isn't you at all. You have helped me through some of the toughest days of my life. Oh, and for that I'm thankful. Beyond what I can express, you are a true inspiration to me, and clearly I'm deeply honored. Thank you. Thank you. And always follow your heart. Heart and mind are one. Follow and listen to your feelings, listen to your gut. In any instance that you are going through, it will never lead you wrong. All right, guys, it will never lead you wrong. And when I came to that conclusion, sitting in the same spot, I became angry. Not like throwing stuff around. It's like, you got to be kidding me. Great. Now I have to give up another great thing. Now, nobody's asking me to give anything up. Just like Jesus had free will when it came time to his crucifixion. Jesus did not have to go through with the crucifixion. Okay. You have to remember, Jesus had free will too. Jesus could have ran and hid in the desert. He could have ran into the mountains and ran away. No, he followed through with what he said he was going to do. All right. I'm going to follow through with what I said I'm going to go through. I will not eat meat anymore. And I feel better about the decision, but the decision is hard because it is something that I greatly enjoy. But I find it horrific that somebody's calling me primitive. It rubs me the wrong way. I just don't like it. This has always been a struggle. I was a vegetarian for many years, not for the past year. Now I do not feel about, and how do I feel bad about plants? Well, or feeding dogs their natural diet. Okay, Jason, I'm not trying to challenge you, but what would you say to those video of pastors casting out so-called demons in the church? I told you there is no such thing as hell or demons. It's a struggle with me too, but I'll get to your demon thing. That's just what I'm going to do. I will just eat salads and fresh fruits and stuff like that. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but there's no casting out of anything. It's a show. It's a sham. It's a scam. There's nothing there. Remember who you are. You're God. How can God cast out anything other than himself? All right. Remember, we're on a journey to nowhere. Who we are is God. How can God command himself? Who's he going to command? Himself? Who's he going to, you know, send to a place that doesn't exist? He's going to send himself there. Remember, we are all God, right? And God is being redefined through us, gods, right? So it's simply a sham and a scam. There is no such thing as demons. There is no such thing as hell. I told you where that came from, where the idea of the devil came from. Well, go back and watch that video. It was a couple videos ago, where women had the power, and we used fear, a devil, to get them to relinquish their power and give it to us, where we've had it now for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So there is no such thing. All right. And the church will do anything to keep you coming back because they don't want to lose their power, right? They know damn well that there is no demons, there is no hell. And it's your choice to believe in that. I know the truth. I'm telling you guys this. But, you keep wrestling with the thought that, Santa Claus is real. I mean, none of you believe Santa Claus is real, right? But the church tells you Santa Claus is real. Mommy and daddy told you Santa Claus is real. Why don't you believe Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy are all real? It's all made up. It's all lies. This species of humans live off of lies that go round and round and round and round, except they want to go backwards and backwards and backwards to damn near, 2 millennia ago. It doesn't exist, guys. It's all made up. That's all it is. We could give you some recipes if you want for your yummy bean and veggies. Sure, that would be fine. You can email me some, because now one of the biggest things is I can't eat chicken noodle soup. I love homemade chicken noodle soup. What am I going to throw all the stuff in there with no chicken? I mean, come on, man. I mean, wow. Calm down, calm down, calm down. Like chili. I love chili. Extremely healthy. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't have chili anymore. I mean, my whole life now is just thrown up in the air. I don't even want to get started on it. So yeah, I mean, now I'll have to go back to pasta. I don't like red sauce. Red sauce gives me heartburn. So now I have to go back to white sauce, which is fine. It's just, I don't want to eat that much pasta. So I kind of threw that out. So it's just, now I'm sticking to a lot of white rice and cutting up like vegetables, and putting that on top, asparagus and stuff like that, and eating that. I'll figure it out. As we ordered chicken burrito soup with no chicken and yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's just, it's going to be a big life change for me. So it's just something that I have to get used to. So yeah, it's all made up. Okay. It's all made up. And it was all meant to keep you guys living in fear. It's all meant to keep you living in a low vibrational state. Remember who you are. You are a soul. You are the divine. You are God. Right now, it shows 9 of us here, right? In reality, there's only one. There's only one here right now, and that is God. We are all God. We are all in the moment, in the future, right now, remembering. There's only one here. There's only one around the entire world. One. That's it. So when you look up into the night sky and you see all those beautiful stars, they really don't exist, because that was the past. That was billions of years ago. And you are looking at your future self. I've been feeling this, to be honest with you, I've been feeling it coming for a while, that every time I took out a steak, I would just sit there and look at it like, just sit there and look at it like, and I've been putting it off, like not eating it, not eating chicken. I've been eating rice basically with some vegetables on top. I mean, and I'm like, I'm not going to throw out hundreds of dollars worth of food right now, when that's just not going to happen. So when I say I'm not going to eat meat anymore, I will, when I go to the store next Friday night, I will no longer buy meat. It's salads. I will live off of salads and fruits and pastas, like fresh pasta, like fresh noodles, because I don't eat anything out of a box. I'll make egg salad, just stuff like that. Fruits like strawberries, I love grapes, pistachios, sunflower seeds. That's just the route that I'm going to go. So, and that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is going to go. And I think over time, just like me rearranging my life after my own death was a difficult thing. And this is going to be a difficult challenge, but I won't fail. How do I stop having negative thoughts of anger towards other people? Look at those, Morgan, look at those other people as yourself. That is you. Remember, there's only one of us here right now. So if there's only one of us, who are you talking to? Yourself. So when another version of yourself makes you angry that you don't like, just say, okay, that's just an angry version of me. You know what? I wish you the best of luck. You have a great day. That's it. Just remember that that's you. That's how I deal with people. Like, especially I have a difficult time with somebody at work. We don't butt heads. He doesn't like my energy. I don't care for his energy. But I also remember that's just an angrier version of myself. So am I going to tell myself, excuse my vulgar language, to go fuck off? No. What's that going to do? Nothing except lower my energy. And I'm not going to stoop that low. So I have to just realize that he's just an angry version of myself, lost, dazed, and confused, trying to figure out who he is in the moment of now. So just look at it that way. Just say, oh, that's an angry version of me. Best of luck, and move on. Just literally move on. Swipe them away like a gnat. All right. That's all you have to do. Jason, after your NDE, do you too also suffer? I did after my NDE. I'd say for the first year, I was very angry, very upset. And I wanted nothing more than to die, to go back home, without doubt. Being here was torture. It was brutal. I did not want to be here. I would have gladly given a bullet to the head, car accident, heart attack, whatever. I did not want to be here. It was very hard on me. I was very depressed, very, very depressed. And of course, I'm being single and I live alone. So when I came home, my vehicle got repossessed. I had eviction notices. I lost my job. Unemployment wouldn't pay me. I had no money to eat. I had to sell furniture just to buy ramen noodles to eat. I had to learn how to walk, talk, eat, drink, because every time I would take a drink, it'd be like a baby. It would spill down my face. It was horrible. It was brutally hard. And I thought about just not being here anymore. And so, yeah, it was, I think a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people are very depressed after an NDE because you know you're home, you know where you are, you know that you're one with the Father, you're in absolute love and ecstasy, you don't feel pain, you're young, you're home, and then all of a sudden you get thrown back into this physical body, you're back into pain, you're back into what you call suffering, and you're back into this 3D shithole, and it's very difficult. People say, oh, what a great, oh, I want this experience. Be careful what you wish for. How did I get past it? I turned to love. I began to accept the love that was continuously flowing through me, especially for the first 6 months to 8 months after. I just let the love sink in and I just let it course through me like a drug. And I surrendered to it is what I did. I finally accepted when I collapsed at the end of the bed because I was shaking my hand at God. I was like, you can't do this to somebody. You can't do this to somebody. You can't. And when I said, you should have given it to the Pope, you should have given it to somebody that mattered, somebody that was worthy of that. I knew I was going to go to hell for all the things that I had done. And that was when God literally spoke to me, my Father, when he said, as clear as day, when I said, you picked the wrong person. And he said, why not? You are my son. And that is, in that moment, is when I collapsed to my knees at the end of my bed and I raised my hands. And where this came from, I have no idea. But when I said, for all that I am you, that statement was me saying, I am God. I am you. You and I are one. I and the Father are one. And I surrendered. I gave myself completely to the fact that I was no longer a human being. I knew I wasn't a human being. I'm not a human being. And I surrendered and I chose love in every aspect of my life. And that is how I got past it. It was very difficult. You have to do the work, guys. It will not just come to you. They will not spoon feed you and say, here you go, come on now. No, nobody said this was going to be easy. And in fact, it's not. It's brutally hard if you're going to do the work and become who you choose to be. What is the grandest version of yourself that you want to be in this indefinite moment of now? Who do you choose to be? Redefine God. Choose love. Love is the only thing that matters. We are created of it. We are of it. It is all that we are. So I don't often listen to my feelings, like moved to Spain without speaking Spanish. Now I have anxiety. Should I have listened to this distant feeling inside me? But I met somebody. No, I'm glad you did that. Do what you got to do. Go have fun. We came here to have fun. We came here to rediscover who we are. I did that. I don't have very many lives left, guys. I don't need it. I have rediscovered, and now I'm creating the grandest version of myself. As I told Jesus, I will do greater things than you. Not only will I do that, I will heal as well. And I am on that track right now, becoming the grandest version of myself, that love, that higher being. That is why I quit eating meat. I will not do it anymore. I choose the higher being. I choose to become a higher involved being. That means letting go of the past that no longer serves you. You have to do the work, guys. And that means me letting go of eating meat and becoming that part of me is now gone. So don't have anxiety, accept it. Learn Spanish, get on YouTube and practice your words. Do what you got to do. But I think you're doing a fantastic job. Good for you for having, no offense, the balls to just pick up and move. Good for you. Do you see my question about the lab-grown meat? No, what was it? What do you think of lab-grown meat? Is that something humanity should embrace? No, I wouldn't. Anything that has chemicals injected into it for whatever reason is something that does not belong in our body. And that is why, coming from the non-physical, if it does not rot on your counter, if it does not rot in your refrigerator within 2 or 3 days, it does not belong in your body. So anything that comes out of a box, cereal, like probably pasta, but sometimes you can get away with that. But all of that junk, like instant mashed potatoes, does not belong in your body. Only thing that belongs in your body, water. No coffee, no alcohol, nothing. All right? Nothing. Our bodies were meant and created to thrive off of water, and that is it. That's it. Same thing with the food. Organic foods. Our bodies were meant for that. No chemicals in it. So all of those that are smoking, that are actually committing suicide on a daily basis by smoking and drinking, when you're ruining your liver and stuff, no, you don't have to accept Jesus. Jesus is not your Lord and Savior. I told you, Jesus, when God called on Jesus, Jesus was a highly evolved being in a highly evolved civilization. He went to Jesus, called on him. Jesus left. They had a powwow. Father asked them to do this. And Jesus was simply, and I wrote it, He was sent here, and his mission was simply, and it still is, to save you from not knowing and never experiencing who you really are. I had to write that down. Sorry, guys, because it came to me. And he demonstrated that in every aspect of who he was. He showed you unconditional love. His whole job was to muddy up the waters, to get rid of all the bullshit and all the concepts that came around that didn't matter. He wanted you to understand, not have followers, so to speak. He wanted you to follow the truth and how to become the grandest version of yourself, to become who you truly are in the moment of now for yourself. That was his job, and it still is. Jesus is not your Lord and Savior, period. He has nothing to do with the church, never wanted to have any. He didn't even want to be a Jew, but that's what he was born into 2 millennia ago. And as you all know, the powers that be, religion, had him murdered because they didn't like what he was teaching. He was teaching the truth, which went against everything that was put into place. The whole Bible is made up by the church. Jesus is a highly evolved being, and that's where he was called from, a highly evolved civilization. All right? And he came here per Father's request to show us what a highly evolved being can do. All the things that he did, we are capable of doing. We simply don't believe in ourselves. Jesus didn't eat meat. Didn't eat lamb, didn't eat fish. He ate, what do they call those? Dates, olives, bread. He loved bread, so he lived off of bread. So, he had a hodgepodge, what you would call a salad. That's okay. You can disagree, and that's fine. Absolutely. The only thing that goes in our bodies is water. And if you choose to drink coffee, you have free will. You go ahead. I choose and I drink water every day. Nothing else but water. But you have to remember what caffeine is. Caffeine is a drug. That's why they call it caffeine. So, and our bodies are not meant to run on that. That is interesting. So many people say, yep, but as a highly evolved being, he didn't. And that's where I was wrong, guys, and I apologize. He ate just those things. He didn't eat meat because he was a highly evolved being from another civilization, from another dimension. Even though we come from another dimension, the others around him ate fish and meat. He helped them catch fish. He helped them, but he never partook in that. So it would be like if you're sitting at a family dinner and all of them are eating steak and shrimp and all this, and you choose to sit down and eat a salad. All right. They're eating meat, but you're not. It's kind of the same thing with him. I was wrong on that, and I apologize. So I'm changing that. Oh, you're welcome. Don't be fooled by the church. They've been doing this for millennia, and that is the only reason I started this channel, was to tell you the truth. Because when I came back from here and I was sitting here recovering, I was angry. I was pissed. I was lied to. So it's, yeah, or just, that's my choice though now, guys. You can, whoever wants to eat meat, we're evolving as a species, and that's where we're at right now. So most of us can't even get along with our next door neighbors, let alone love one another. And we're evident in that right now. And be honest with you, this was another thing that was given to me. We're on the verge of extinction. What do I mean? Our technology has risen so fast. Now look at it this way, guys. if you remember, if you go from the 1800s, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Billy the Kid, right? Cowboys and Indians shooting guns and killing people, right? Now it's the turn of the century in the 1900s, right? All right. So now you mean we go from riding a horse? It's 1900, right? Now to 1944, we harnessed the atom and dropped it on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. You mean for thousands of years riding horses up until the 1900s, right? Now all of a sudden, 45 years later, 44 years later, we harnessed the power of the atom bomb? Come on, what does that tell you? Highly evolved beings were sent here by God to help us advance technology with technology. All right, pure and simple. They're here now. All right, what you would call aliens from higher evolved dimensions and civilizations are here. Right. So now we're on the verge of extinction. Right. How many? It's going to take one person. And how likely do you think this is to happen? To go and steal an atomic bomb from either Russia, from us, from somewhere, and then go set it off in the middle of Moscow or in the middle of Washington and wipe out. What's going to happen? Retaliation, our demise. We're that close to being extinct, guys. And that's what I'm talking about. We need to change now. It's fourth and we got 90 yards to go. Fourth down. What are we going to do? We got to do something. And this is what I'm trying to do. Teach you guys. So let me get to your questions, guys. Hi. If there's a limit to how many incarnations we have, and God will not let us have any more after our last one, wouldn't it be just good? Now remember we're on the cosmic wheel of evolution and the cosmic wheel of life. We've been doing this for billions of years, guys. Not thousands of years, not millions of years, billions of years. It's the evolution of life. So what's going to happen is our universe is going to expand, right? And all of a sudden it's going to stop, and then it's going to go boom. Our universe is going to collapse on itself, and all of a sudden there's going to be nothing. And then guess what? Another big bang is going to start, and woof, another universe is going to be born, and then we start it all over again. We've been doing this for billions of years. That's why I say when you look out into the night sky and you see all the planets and stuff, there's nothing there. You're seeing the past. That past doesn't exist. Show me the past. What did you do an hour before you came here? Show me. You can't. It doesn't exist. So when you look into the night sky, you're looking at nothing. It doesn't exist. So when you come into what you're seeing now, me speaking to you, it is your future self. You're rediscovering you in the moment of now. So you're going to be constantly on that cosmic wheel of life. And eventually there's going to be billions and billions of versions of you scattered throughout the entire universe. So life is a constant rebirth and death. That's why death is a beautiful thing. You guys are all scared of it, but it's a natural part of life. It's not death. It's simply a transformation. So we're constantly going to incarnate. Constantly. These are good questions, though. Do animals go to a place of unconditional? Yes, absolutely. Now, we could transition into an animal if we want, but the whole purpose of the soul is to evolve. So to go into an animal would be way down. It wouldn't be any beneficial for us. Could we do it? Sure, Father would allow it, but animals go home. Yeah, they go home without doubt. And they'll incarnate, say, I was a dog last time. Well, I want to try a tiger or whatever it wants to be. And then it'll do its thing, just like we are. Yeah, I'm not going to eat meat anymore, hon. We'll do it together. All right. We got this. I have faith in you and you have faith in me. That's good. What about the saints such as Francis? What about them? They all went home too. You got to remember, that was just a particular timeline. Okay. It's just like, this is who I am. I can go back into 1970 and see as me a little kid, but now fast forward, I'm a teacher, right? So that's just a particular timeline. When that timeline ends, that ends. That's just who they were, what they were in that moment of now, nothing more. So anything that has to do with a saint, I swipe it to the left, garbage. I don't want to hear it. It's nothing more than a lie. Jimmy Jennings, hey, maybe God's had enough of us going through all this nonsense. No, God is simply an observer. He's just watching us, observing. That's when I told you, he doesn't care about your marriage. You want to get married? Get married. If not, don't. I don't care. He doesn't care. He'll just simply tell you where things are going wrong and why they're going wrong, right? Which is the information I'm getting, which is I'm telling you, all right? But we're evolving. He loves us unconditionally, period. We are growing. We are evolving past this low bottom shit that we're in right now. But it's taking time because we don't want to change. What's the definition of insanity, guys? It's doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. We've been doing this for thousands and thousands of years. Where have we gotten? We've gotten to the 10-yard line. We're in our diapers. We can't get it through our head that violence, hate, anger, rage, war, it's not working. When in fact, love is everything. It will conquer everything. Love and light. Light crushes the darkness. When you're in a pitch dark room and you flip that light on, everything becomes crystal clear. That's what love does. All right? That's what we have to do, is love one another. Be one another. And that includes embracing your sexual energy. Higher evolved beings, higher advanced civilizations, they don't wear clothes. They're not embarrassed of their bodies. They love themselves. They love their bodies. And with being in a high and advanced civilization, right, they can control the weather. So they have warm weather. There's no tornadoes, earthquakes, volcanoes erupting, tsunamis. They control the weather. They walk around in their natural state, very proud of themselves. We can't have look at a woman, oh my God, look at her boobies, look at her crotch. To them, it's nothing. They're beautiful. I'm beautiful. We can't get past seeing somebody naked without freaking out and calling the cops. It's ridiculous where we're standing. We've got to do better. We've got to embrace, instead of feel ashamed of ourselves, embrace our sexual identity. It's who we are. God gave it to us. God gave it to everybody. All right? Embrace yourself. Embrace your beautiful body. Not flaunt it, but show it. We're all so afraid that we're all wearing clothes. All those higher advanced civilizations, they don't wear clothes. Only us dopes do. Jason, did Nancy Danson include your NDE in her book title? We Met God. She shifted. No, I never heard of that. Nancy Danson. Nope. Yeah, you can talk to your pets. You become one with everything, guys. You become one consciousness. Yet you still remain your individuality, your mind. Remember, your mind, body, spirit. You still remain that. So when you're at home, you're still creating what you want to experience. When you're home, you still have free will. It'll never be taken from you. So yes, why do you think Jesus chose things as far? Because he simply chose them to show you who he really was. That love was everything, that he chose. It was a pre-plan. God's whole purpose of having Jesus crucified, because Jesus, remember, was a highly advanced being from a highly advanced civilization, right? What did Jesus do? The whole point of the execution was to show you that the body wasn't real, guys. What did he do? He showed up 3 days later, the same person. Look what I did. I created a new body. That's what highly advanced beings can do. That's why he was called in for this job, to show you what we can do when we reach that level of consciousness. He simply created a new body. He was at home watching his own crucifixion. And he showed up 3 days later with the exact same body that he created, which is what we can do. So that was the whole point of it. He needed to go through the process. It was simply a process that he went through. And he went through those stages, just like we go through our stages, except he was on a much higher level. That's it. The only difference between he and I, or all of us. That's it. Why do you think Jesus? Okay, why can't we get that through our heads? People have been so nasty to me due to their fears of the things we do, such as drinking. Because let's see. Here's fear. Because I was going to tell you, it's simply fear, Marie. And so, what is fear? Fear is that which you are not. Fear is which that you are not. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Fear is the opposite of love. So, because they don't know the truth, they choose to live in fear. Remember, we have two emotions, fear and love. 99.8% of us live in fear. Very small community of us live without fear. So, because of what they don't know, they choose to show anger and hate towards you because you are vibrating as well higher than them. So they don't know that. They just simply don't like you. So, you know what? Forgive them and move on. That's correct. We need to change the very systems that we created. But the have-nots that have set up the rules, right, to keep them in power, to keep their money and wealth and all of that to themselves. So it's very difficult for the have-nots, the 98% of us that don't have, is impossible for us to have. So they created the institutions that we need to break in order for the whole community to live as one. In a highly advanced civilization, the one person that is suffering without food, shelter, or whatever, it is frowned upon. It is looked as a major blemish. It is not allowed to happen. They will be provided a house. They will be provided with food, shelter, clothing. No, not clothing, but all of the necessities. Because you've heard the saying, all for one and one for all, right? So what's your weakest link, right? The weakest link is that person that is not a part of the whole. So everything will fall apart. That is not allowed to happen in a highly advanced civilization for one person to be going without. It's unheard of. They are like this and they will not move from the oneness, period. So we need to break and crush these foundations that we have built on, that it's the strongest survive. Wrong. The survival of the fittest. No, it's the survival of everyone that makes everyone the fittest. Not just that select few. Everybody is included in this. And that is what highly advanced civilizations think, right? Oneness. We are all one. They live by the rule of one. Anybody falls out of that, right? It's unacceptable. Unacceptable. They will not allow that to happen. They will bring them into the fold, get them set up, ready and able, give them the education, the knowledge, and all of that, and then they become one. The rule of one is what they live by. It was what Jesus said. I and the Father are one. Highly advanced civilizations live as one. They don't live with clothing. They don't eat flesh from a dead animal. And they run themselves as one, working with highly advanced technologies. They control the weather. They live in peace. They live in love. And they prosper perfectly. We're down in the basement wearing diapers, pooping ourselves and peeing ourselves. We need to change. And that is the whole aspect of my channel. We need to change. All right. They tell me they hope don't listen to them, honey. All right. Don't. Just block them out, forgive them, and just move away from them. All right. Just move away. Don't even give them the time of day anymore. Just love them, forgive them, and move on. On the other side, didn't want to be on earth. Will humanity? Of course, we're reaching that state. We're moving in that direction right now, but it's really, really slow. I'm trying to get everybody up and running here, right? getting everybody up and running. Like kind of what I told you today. I think it was a message when I came in from work and they had messed up my house. So it took me by surprise. But hey, Jason, my mom has a channel too. I've told her about you and shown her your videos, and she thinks you're a good speaker. Yeah, I looked her up. She's a tarot card reader. Yeah. If what you are saying is true, Jason, you are giving us the most important information that has ever been, because it actually makes sense. All the other I've heard doesn't. We have to realize. I'm telling you guys, I'm the no bullshit channel. This is what you guys need to know. This is what has been being kept from you from the church. All right? The church doesn't want you knowing who you are. That is why they scrounged up every bit of information from Jesus during the Crusades. What do they went to the Holy Land for? What is there in the Holy Land? Where Jesus walked? Who gives a shit? No, they went in there and they took every bit of knowledge and information that pertained to Jesus, and they took it and they brought it back here to the Vatican, where it is now locked up in the basement, in the archives, where nobody can get to it. Nobody is allowed in there. You try to break into the archives in the Vatican, the police there will shoot you dead on sight. That should say enough. Okay? The church does not want you knowing who you are. And Jesus came here to show you, and did that expertly, who you are. He wanted you to know who you are and to become the grandest version of yourself. When he said, I am the life and the way, follow me, he wasn't saying, I want followers. He was saying, follow my example. I'll show you how to do this. I will show you how to become a highly advanced being and do what I can do. That's what the church is hiding from you. Your power. You as a God. The church does not want you to know this. And they have for millennia killed all those that have opposed them and stepped up to the plate and are teaching you what I am teaching you now. They killed them. What you know is Friday the 13th, right? Pope Clement and King Philip rounded up all the Knights Crusaders, and what they do. In 1303, they started rounding them up and imprisoning them and torturing them. And then I think it was 1313 or somewhere 1333 or something like that, where they burned 50 of the Crusaders at the stake. Why? They'd become too powerful. They were the church's dirty hands. They couldn't have people telling the truth. So what did the church do? Murdered them all. Now nobody knows. And what they didn't catch, they fled and hid. The church cleaned up their mess, their dirty work. I'm here to bust that out. I'm here to tell you exactly who you are and how powerful you are. But we have to change. Do you understand? If I got, say, 5 million of us, right? We all became one, and we sat out somewhere and we said, we all as a collective consciousness said, I want to clean up the oceans. The oceans would be clean. I want to clean up the rivers and lakes. The rivers and lakes would be clean. I want to reforest the Amazon. It would instantly happen. That is how powerful we are. But we have to come together as the collective consciousness, because what you see in the real world out there is all of our collective consciousness is what you see on TV and in the world every day. It's all of our collective consciousness. Now, if we come together in love and decide to recreate a beautiful planet and clean it up, that's exactly what's going to take place. We have the power. The church is keeping you from that. Wow, is that really, have I been an hour and 20 minutes? Wow. Dolores Cannon said a lot of the same before she passed from the videos I have seen of hers. Haven't read her books yet. I've heard of her, but I haven't watched any of your stuff. Jason, if fear is just an experience but not reality, does this mean that union with God? No, it is the beginning and everything. It is everything that has ever existed and everything that will ever exist. You are God. It's that simple. You will never die. You are always in the process of creating and recreating who you are. And as I have said, we are recreating God every day, every moment, every second. God is experiencing everything he knows through us. We are his vehicles of experience. What happens if we go extinct? Is this an illusion or a dream state that would start all over again elsewhere, merge with God? If the human species became extinct, we became extinct. We would all go home, and then we would pick another civilization to go to. Remember, we're just experiencing who we are through a human being. That's it. But we're not going to become extinct. But I'm saying we are that close, guys. We are that close to the human beings being extinct. Our level of technology is there. It takes one person to steal an atomic bomb. One person. And if you don't think that can happen, look what happens to hackers that shut down the government, shut down this, shut down that. It is not impossible for someone to steal an atomic bomb and set it off somewhere. And the buttons are going to start to fly. And that's it. We are on the verge of extinction. One person crazy enough to do it, to make it happen, and to set it off. That's it. Game over. All right? It's that simple. And I'm trying to show the love. I love all of you. It's what I'm here. It's what I start my channel for. It's what I give videos every week or every other week to you guys, so you can see it. You can feel it. All right? We have to do better, guys. We have to do better. We are still less than 10 years from World War III. Yep. It's coming. We have to change. Okay? When you look at the politics, when you look at somebody building a wall because he doesn't want another human being becoming the grandest version of himself, because he doesn't like the fact that he's a Mexican. That when we're worried about that, when we can look into the streets of Detroit, Chicago, Milwaukee, when you're watching homeless people on the street freezing to death and dying of malnutrition, when we're throwing enough food away in this country every day to feed an entire nation of homeless with a surplus of food, we have to change. Someone in Africa is holding their child, watching them die of malnutrition right now. And we are the grandest version of ourselves, not giving a shit about that person who is also God, watching that child die from starvation. When there's enough food in this world, but the have-nots will not let the haves, the haves not let the have-nots gain any momentum in helping themselves achieve just basic necessities, basic needs, food, clothing, shelter. 400 children an hour die around this world of starvation. 30,000 people a day die of starvation around the world. You think about that tonight. Okay? It's heartbreaking. And yet, Father is only an observer. We have to do better. God is not going to come down here and pick us up by our pants and say, come on, guys. All right? We have to do this. We got ourselves in this mess. We've got to get ourselves out of this mess. It's that simple. And it's an hour and a half. I didn't think I'd go that long. I was struggling in the beginning to get going, and look at you guys. You guys got me rolling. You know, a spiritual movie I think is really good is Avatar. It's the kind of movie that shows about the nightly advance. So, yeah. Well, look at how you get here. Remember when he fell into the machine and then all of a sudden you see his consciousness go through a tunnel? It's how we get here. And then all of a sudden we pop into the avatar that we created. That's exactly how we get here, guys. But yes, higher advanced civilizations, they're taking place right now. We're on the bottom. There's only a select few, maybe 4 or 5 that are less involved than us. Okay. Of course, he can experience. So if somebody's being raped right now, what do you think God is experiencing? Being raped, being beaten, being hit, being sexually abused. He's feeling all of that. Yes. We are recreating God every day. God is experiencing through us. So if you're getting beat up, if you're getting shot, if you're doing this, you're doing that, or you're making love, he is experiencing that. He is constantly recreating himself through us. Thus, we are recreating God. So if someone's been kidnapped and being tortured, God is being kidnapped and tortured. He's feeling that. We have to change, guys. We have to change. I love you guys. I'm going to let it go at that. It's been an hour and a half. I love you guys. Very excellent questions. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. If there's something you guys want me to talk about, I'm going to do a video. I do believe possibly this Sunday. Yeah, I don't even, I already told my father, I said, I'm not coming back as a human. I'm done with this. No, I'm not being primitive anymore. I don't like it. I don't want any part of it. So, but then again, when we were on the other side, we could think completely different. It's beyond anything you can ever imagine. We don't think like we do here, because of the things that we go through. It is so much, what's way beyond your capacity to even think about what it's like on the other side, because you don't think like that at all. You're eager to come back. I know that sounds bizarre, but it's beyond the truth. So I love you too. Thank you so much. If there's something you want me to chat about, you guys know, throw it in those comments. I will jot it down and we can go from there. I want you to know something. I appreciate all of you that come up on a regular basis and that show my love and support, that have shown love and support to this channel, that have backed me. And I can't show you enough love and appreciation for all of that. I am beyond honored. And when I say I think of you every day when I wake up and say I am the luckiest being on the planet to have all of you, your love and support, I am beyond. Some of you have reached out if you haven't heard from me. Are you okay, Jason? It is beyond mind-blowing to me how blessed I am. I truly am. When I started this channel, I expected nothing, no growth, no nothing, except for me to spew the truth. And yet this following that I have created has been beyond a blessing to me, and I owe it all to you. I will never hide anything from you. I will never keep anything from you. I will always be real with each and every one of you. And for all those that reach out and want a one-on-one, you know how to find me. You know how to contact me. Put your questions and comments down there. And that's another thing I want to say is I've never asked for your support. I've never asked you to like the channel. I've never asked you to subscribe to the channel. And I will never ask for money from any of you. It's not why I'm here. I am here to tell the truth. I am here to be that guru, to be that spiritual teacher. As I said, I will do greater things than Jesus, and I will. That is a fact. All right. I hope you guys have a blessed weekend. I love you all again so very much, and thank you. I'm beyond grateful, Jimmy. I am beyond grateful. So I will think about Sunday about the video that I want to do. It's kind of about the evolved beings and stuff and Jesus, evolving that into a much deeper and complex thing. So you guys have a blessed weekend. I love you very much, and I will talk to you soon. All right. Bye, guys.